Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara. Today we are going to do some fall inspired DIY projects, and the company Resiners had reached out a while back to me to do a video on their air purifying machine, which helps clean out any of the harmful VOCs in the air while working with resin. And then they reached out to me again recently to do a video talking about their curing machine. And I really was impressed with the first air purifying machine, so I said, absolutely, let me try it. And what this is going to do is it's really going to save time for me on my resin projects. Typically, it takes about 24 hours for the projects to cure, and this is going to cut it down to 2 to 4 hours. So because I was so impressed with their first machine, I actually went ahead and went on Amazon and bought their bubble removing machine. I did not realize how many micro bubbles are in every mix you do. You can barely see them there, but boy, I tell you, watching this machine work, I did it for 10 minutes at first, and here I put it on time lapse so you can see. Look at how many bubbles come out of this. It is absolutely insane. I was floored. I was like, well, no wonder my projects don't come out clear. So again, I would definitely recommend buying a bubble removing machine from Resiners. It works super fast, and I love watching it go. Actually, it's kind of fun. And then when it's all done, you can see how clear my resin is. Hardly anything. There's a couple bubbles on top that I just used rubbing alcohol, misted it on there, and those popped instantly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little pumpkins first. So I just took a tiny bit in my little medicine cup and I added the espresso color from Ranger. It's an alcohol ink. And I have a little pipette. I think pipette is what you call it. And I'm just sucking it up into that. And because it's such a tiny little hole, I have to put it in. And then I squirt it down in there. And that should just stay just in the stem area. And then for the rest of it, I am going to mix a couple of orange colors. I think one is Rust and the other is Sunset Orange from Ranger Alcohol Inks. And I'm going to make a mixture of a really pretty dark orange for the pumpkins themselves. So again, once I mix in that alcohol ink, I go ahead and put it into the bubble remover machine. Anytime I mix it, I want to do that to make sure I have hardly any bubbles in there. So those are those two inks there, and I'm going to go ahead and mix those in, and you can be your own mixologist here and just kind of play around with the colors. I did do some fall leaf coasters as well, and it was actually really fun. I used like yellows and oranges and reds and made it all mix in kind of so that you get all three of those colors. So here I go again with the bubble removing machine. I'm just going to put it in there for 5 minutes real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour in my resin in each mold. And you want to make sure to try and figure out how much resin you're going to need so you don't waste a bunch of resin. I actually forgot to do that part and it came out actually really perfect. So another tip when you're using the bubble machine is you want to make sure the resin is only about half full in the cup, because you saw when it started to remove the bubbles, it like rose up, kind of like it was boiling. So you want to make sure to leave room for that. Now this is the mat, the base and the mat of the curing machine, and you can do several different projects. There's 3 buttons on this machine. There's one flat, tall, and UV. And so I wanted, because my pumpkins are taller, I wanted to go onto the tall setting, and you can change the temperature, you can change the amount of time. So I have it for 140 for 4 hours, and it came out beautiful. So this next project I saw on Pinterest and I fell in love. And my candlesticks have not been selling by themselves at the store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own arrangement. And I went and bought some Floriform, kind of a thick 20-inch round base. I have like a pumpkin from Hobby Lobby that I got on sale and a lot of beautiful florals. And I'm going to hot glue that foam base to my candlestick. And then I'm going to go ahead and start rearranging all the beautiful florals. Now, hindsight, what I did was I ended up going, after I put the florals in, I went and put moss in on top and trying to get the moss to go in between on the sides so you couldn't see the green foam was a little difficult. So I would advise maybe putting that on first or painting it first before putting the florals in. What I like to do is, because florals are so expensive, I do like to tear them apart so that I have like 5 to 6 pieces instead of just one pick. And that way it goes a lot longer. You get more bang for your buck on that. So here I am just kind of putting things in as we go. You want to start with your big pieces first and then start putting in all your little fillers. And you can make this as extravagant as you want, or, you know, I went way out like a spray kind of. But you know, you can keep it smaller, and I just think this turned out to be beautiful. It's like a showstopper. I don't even know if I can put it in the store. I have it sitting on my table right now, and it's so gorgeous. Like, that's the first thing you see when you come in the house, is this beautiful arrangement. And I put pumpkins underneath it, and it just turned out gorgeous. So in order to upscale the pumpkin from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to go ahead and paint it with some cashmere, but I want it to have a very textured surface. So I'm going to add some salt wash to that, quite a bit of it actually. And with the salt wash, you just, you know, kind of eyeball it. I don't really measure anything. I just add it to the consistency that I want it. And then I'm not putting that stem back on. You saw that I have real stems that Jennifer, my friend, gave to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue on a real stem, make it a little bit more interesting to look at. And with this mixture, the first coat you just paint it on. Just paint on real quick. Make sure to get the whole entire surface, let it dry. And then the second coat that I did, I used the stippling motion, like a pouncing up and down, and that's going to allow it to give me more of that texture that I'm looking for. I did not put any other darkening agent on here. I guess I can go in and add maybe some antiquing glaze to it, but I really loved the color of the pumpkin, and it has some really big green leaves on it after the fact. So I think I'm going to just leave it the way it is, but you can do whatever you want. You can shade in those areas that are down, the dips down below. And so I'm going to just hot glue this guy on there and put these leaves in, and then the little tendrils, we're going to add one tendril in there and then call him good. And as far as putting him on the top, I hot glued him like crazy to the top of the moss and the foam. And I also put a couple of wire sticks from underneath that went through the bottom foam into the pumpkin on both sides. So he's in there pretty sturdy. I don't think I even flipped it upside down and nothing moved. So he should be good to go. And if you don't want to do all the florals yourself, I thought another idea you could do is maybe buy a wreath that you really like and just glue the wreath to a candlestick, and then you can put a pumpkin inside of that, and that would make it super easy. So this next one is just a little key sign, Home Sweet Home, and it's a little plain, so I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more fall. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove all these 3 hooks here. And that Home Sweet Home was actually painted on there, so I did go ahead and sanded that down so it's nice and smooth and you didn't see the words popping through the paint. And I'm going to go in with my Fusions Algonquin to paint it. But I did use this Thankful Autumn transfer from Redesign. I've had this for several years, and so I'm like, I need to use these up. And so I thought it'd be really pretty to put those roses in the background with the Thankful on top. And that's basically it. This literally took me maybe like less than 10 minutes to do the whole entire project. So, you know, you can always take something real simple. I got this at the thrift store for $4, and literally less than $10, I have a beautiful little sign that I can hang in my kitchen for the keys, or you can hang in your bedroom. You can hang, you know, with the hooks, you can hang little decor off there, a little bag or something fun. And so, you know, you always have ideas of where you can use this. You can use this in the bathroom even, and for a towel hook. There's just lots of things you can use with a sign with hooks on it. So don't underestimate the power of a little sign. Okay, look at these little pumpkins. They are so adorable. So, so cute. And I love that they're like an amber color. They turned out beautiful. So I'm going to make a lot more of these. I think I'm going to do some white ones and maybe some like little blue ones and put them in the store for sale. I just think they're so adorable. Fun little fillers for your fall. And these squirrels, you guys, oh my gosh, they're so darling. This one's a bigger one, and then they have the little one next to it, and they're both holding like a little pine cone or a nut or something. Super cute. I love working with the resin, and now that I have the bubble remover and the curing machine, that just makes my life so much easier. I absolutely am addicted now. Now this is my favorite, of course, for this one. I think it turned out so stunning, and it's maybe a little over the top for some people, but I absolutely love it. And I think she looks beautiful right there on my table. So we'll see if it makes it to the store or not. But like I said, you can make your own with a wreath or have fun with some florals, and you can get the florals at the thrift stores so they're not so expensive. Or Hobby Lobby, all your decor stores usually have sales on florals as well. And so stay tuned, guys. I will be back next Monday with another video. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you then. Take care, guys. Bye.